Good morning, Guildies, and welcome back to another beautifully polygonal day here on my procedurally generated 400-plus biome Minecraft world. This thing looks awesome. Those birch trees behind me still look fantastic, right? Oh, there we go. Those things just are amazing. I'm digging it. Let's go no UI, just see how that looks. Yeah. Zoom in. Oh, yeah. That looks real good. All right, so what are we doing today, you might ask? Well, I brought my handy-dandy book with me, but before I do that, the sharp-eyed of you might have noticed this in the last video. The diamond ore right there. Doesn't that look great? Well, anyways, at the end of last episode, we wrote in our book, and we went to bed with our things to do tomorrow list. But I want to go over what we're doing here, the long-term plan. The long-term plan is to discover through the exploration of this world the floating island biome. That's where I want to make my big mega fortress or whatever. That'll be my first large build that I want to do. And we'll get there when we get there. And the methodology is to spend 1 day's walking distance from the time you wake up from your bedroll to the time that you can get back into bed at night, because you can only sleep at night. Then that will be 1 day's walking distance. And I'll set up base camps which are ecologically aesthetic, that like kind of fit in with the environment around them. So that's the plan. So some of the things I got to do along the way is my little list of things to do today, and that's to repay the villagers for the help they gave me. And I'm thinking that to do that, I'm going to probably have to build a wall around them and light them up at least. So that'll be a simple wall, not like the ones I've done in the past. This will just be like a cobblestone wall, and I am going to talk about that a little bit later. If you remember at the end of the last video, we'll get to that. I want to make sure I have at least a stack of charcoal. I want a stack or two of torches, right? And I want a stack or two of walls for the villager help. And I want to kind of start thinking about villager trades, which means getting some bamboo or sugarcane, growing, and possibly, finding a leather source, which could mean, well, a food source as well. That might work well together. And I want to get some more book materials, because I'm running out of space in this book, so I got to make another book. And then I got to consider any automation I might do, because I do have some redstone. We're going to leave this diamond here for now, and we'll come back to it later if we ever get a fortune pick. I don't see any reason to go after it right away. All right, so cobblestone walls. Oh, my tree farm is kind of going. That's almost there. But here we go. The cobblestone walls are going to be taken care of by this cobblestone generator. Now, this is pretty straightforward. You have a little water there. You have a little lava there. And bam, it turns into cobble, right? So all you got to do is kind of get in here. Whoops, a little too close or too fast. All right, so you get in there. I'm hugging the corner in as much as possible. I'm going to put my pickaxe over here. And then whatever button you have designated as your action button, your destroy button, then just have that held down. So, for example, I usually rebind this to left control and then pinch a penny, into my keyboard. Now, as you can see, I'm picking up some of them and I'm missing some of them. And you might be thinking, this is not the best way to automate cobblestone, but this is something that I can put on and then go for a walk and kind of unwind a bit for 5-10 minutes, right? So maybe work on something for half an hour, and then go take a 10-minute break, or 50 minutes and 10 minutes. That's the typical protocol I use whenever I'm working on any particular projects. So during that time, I can go take a snack, take care of biological concerns, and, come back to it. And for those of you wondering, hey, JC, what happens when your pickaxe breaks? Well, you can actually punch the cobblestone very, very slowly, but you can do it. So that'll keep going, and then I'll come back, and this will just be a little something to kind of have some automation when I'm AFK, So the most basic of AFK farms, right? All right, so I'm going to let this go for a little bit, and I'll show you how much I ended up with. Okay, gang, as you can see, I went through a pick, and I got about a stack and a half of cobblestone, I think. I didn't think to remove any of this, but I got a little bit. And this little 17 was a little bit of cobblestone that had landed on the other side. So, for little trips to the kitchen and whatnot, you can get what you need done, I would say. Oh, and I think I said that you can knock on it with your hands and you could pick it up, but what I meant was that, and forgive me if I misspoke, I did not. You cannot actually break it, and I don't think you can pick it up. I think it'll break, but I don't think it'll become a whole block, right? So what I meant is it's not really relevant, but over time you could, I suppose, create a dispenser that would pop up a pickaxe into into a hopper that would fall back down or something, you know, if you really wanted to. Oh, that might be something to do. Put a dropper right here. Dropper, hopper, and the water stream would force it to boom, 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 boom. Interesting. I'll think about that. But that's possible automations for later. But in the meantime, it's almost dark. The next step is going to be to get all of those trees. So we're going to reset the sun, come out here and chop down the trees and see how much wood we've got. Woo-wee! So it is bright and early in the morning, and we are going to get these trees chopped down, see how much wood we've got. If you didn't know, you just go up 8 blocks, and this is the 8th block. I use a half slab, so that's the bottom half of 8, and that will prevent the trees from growing into super big structure. I'm pretty sure it's 8 high. It might be 7, but I'm pretty sure it's 8. And then you can just come along here and get them all like this. Now, when I first started this little guy, you might have noticed that they were spaced out a little bit differently, and that was because I wanted to make sure I had enough leaves created that I would be able to pick up some saplings and get it going faster. So putting them in a straight line like this, you will definitely lose some leaves that would produce saplings potentially. So that's something to think about when you're doing it this way, but it really is much, much quicker, as you can see, and efficient to line up your trees like this and get them done. And again, I'm using the disposable trees, we'll call them. The base tree is the oak tree. It does not grow any, super special way, as I'm aware of. But again, this is just the easiest way to farm wood, really. So oak trees do this, and so do birch trees. So I think I grabbed some birch saplings out of the leaves of some of the mega biome trees over there that I opened the video with, right? So I could also put those in a row if I wanted to. And that's a good way for me to have birch tree or birch lumber for constructions that might take birch without the need to actually take down some of those procedurally generated trees. Because once they're down and gone, they are gone. They cannot be replaced by the saplings. I think we discussed that in the first episode. So I want to tread as carefully as possible as we're going along this world and exploring all the biomes. And in that vein of thought, let me remind you why, or explain to you why I didn't really go diving down into the cave systems and go to base level 11 to start finding diamonds, etc. And using that method in order to get my cobblestone. Well, the reason I didn't want to do that is because this mod actually changes the procedural generation of ores as well. You may have already noticed some things. I think there's some lapis right there, right? So, and some diamond right over there. So it can be anywhere. I'm sure that there's larger veins and things like that. There are some smaller aspects to this biome that change the spawn rate of loads of ore, right? And how big they are and how veiny they are. I saw some notes about that. But that is something I am going to put on the way back burner unless you guys ask for it. If you ask for it, I'll dig down there and we'll open up a little cavern down below and have like a dig station 1. But I think this is going to work for now and get us prepared to kind of light up this area, the spawn chunk, I think, and a trail to that village that's over there. And actually, I think I want to do the trail first and see how it looks with the lighting before I actually light up the entire spawn. That is just something I like to do to kind of keep myself protected where I'm at, But if I keep resetting the sun efficiently, it probably shouldn't be a big deal. So let me go ahead and get all this lumber racked back up. I'll get these samplings, we'll replant them. As you can see, I've got enough there to get an entire stack of charcoal. So let me go ahead and get that charcoal started, and then we'll work on our next part of the equation. Where's our book? I'm gonna bring our book down here. Okay, so hold on. That's not what we need. We need it in here. Let me see. Put 3 in. 1, 2, 3. That'll be enough to burn all of this. So then I'll have an entire stack of charcoal. Okay. Book, what do you have to say about that? Boom, 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 boom. Oh, I got another page. Oh, I have multiple pages. Okay, so getting another book materials isn't that important. Any automation I kind of thought about maybe later. Food source, okay, help the villagers. We are in the process of building that charcoal stack to make torch stacks, so maybe I'll get another stack of charcoal. I should be able to soon. And then I've got enough cobblestone to make wall stacks to make that. Okay. So, okay, we're doing pretty well. All right, let me go reset the tree farm, if you will, and we'll see where I'm at. I'll organize my bags, maybe put a box or two together and get some sort of order to this chaos. Be right back. Alright, gang, as you can see, I've kind of cleaned things up a little bit. I've got some building materials here, some precious goods, some miscellaneous book materials here. These I'm kind of keeping to dye my leathers. These I'm keeping because they're highly, highly decorative pieces. And this is miscellaneous, a couple extra chests. And over here, I've just kind of stored up some raw food and some apple. And I'm looking at my food bar down there, and as you can see, I'm starting to take a little hunger pangs, so I'm thinking maybe I should get some food, but the fastest way I can think to do that is to probably head over to that village down the way, and if I'm going to do that, I might as well go ahead and kind of get things ready to go the way I was talking about before with, yes, having a path that goes all the way there. So in order to get this thing started off the gate, I think I'm going to put a light source here, you know, just to kind of know that that's there. And we're going to start walking this way, right? So paths kind of meander normally, and we'll go certain ways, and boom. And from time to time, you'll have like a little brick wall section, right, along the path, and sometimes there'll be like a torch right in the middle of it, right? So you'll have this path that's kind of coming along this way. You're probably going to come up this way. Oh, look at that. And right along here towards that next little part, right? Okay, so yeah, that looks pretty good coming up that way like that. And I suspect most people would probably walk right underneath this tree without any care. Alright, so there we go, right? But this is some detail I can add in a little bit later. So that my path is going to kind of come this way, come along by here. We'll go a little bit further this way. Right, and maybe up here there'll be another little bit that kind of signifies where this wall bit is going to be, right? So let's do that again. We'll do it like this time, and we'll put the torch right here, right? Okay, so this is just kind of giving us some ambiance, right? Alright, gang, I had a little bit of footage corruption there, so I'm just going to fast forward to getting here to the village, and I went ahead and pulled some wheat and made myself some bread, and while I was here I also found some potatoes, so I picked those and replanted those, and then I suddenly found something that made my eyes perk up. In here you will see a villager. He has mending. He is the first trade mending, so I have put him in his place of safety. He's in a boat, so he won't go anywhere, and then I've locked him in there as well. So, I'm gonna, on the off chance that something terribly, terribly goes wrong, let me go ahead and cover up both of these. So there we go. Okay, so now he's safe. Now I also have taken the time to complete the road, the trail, if you will. So I think that's the last little bit I'm gonna play out with. Let's go up here and see if we can see another biome from here that we haven't seen yet. Oh my goodness, look at that. Alright, let me go ahead and... Wow. Okay. So over there is my base. There's a trail that I'll show you here in a second. That'll be the playout. And these will be pictures. Wow. Alright everybody, it's the next morning, and off we go out the door, and we go over to this vista and take a nice look at that. That looks beautiful. Follow the trail down and around through here. This is going by the lake. I figured that would look nice, and then we come over here to this little gravestone area that I kind of ransacked earlier. And looking again at those trees, procedurally generated uniquely, and hey, there's a skeleton head, but we'll take care of that later. Alright, back to the trail here. The trail just kind of comes up and kind of goes along this flat top part just to kind of stay out of all the nooks and crannies. Then it comes over to this little well, this spring. And what a beautiful view for this spring, right? So I figured this would be a nice little watering hole that people could stop along the way. They're almost there, just out of town, about ready to get on the long stretch through this little dry part here. Oh, it's all deserty through this orange desert. And then, oh, I forgot a couple steps, and then along the way here, all the way to the tree farm. And there we are. Alright, Guildy, so looking over my to-do list from today, I did go and gather some lumber for charcoal, and I'm going to gather a little bit more. And I've begun lighting things up. I got the initial 00 spawn area, the X0, Y0 coordinate, but I'll probably light up more than that. I wanted to get that trail done around the corner, which I think actually turned out pretty good. And sugarcane has been collected along the way. There's a little lake around the corner here. So I built that trail, which I think looks pretty good. That's going to be nice for helping the villagers out. I'll be fine-tuning that as we go along. That was done. This was done. This is kind of done. I'm going to do a little bit more of that tomorrow. We'll do one more AFK session and do some more cobblestone and things like that and make a bunch of walls to get around there. We'll start unlocking some of those trades, especially that mending one, even though he's already unlocked. I'll be over there getting some mending books here pretty quickly. Leather source, food source. So maybe tomorrow we'll get to work on creating a sugarcane farm and or a cow farm, because I think we're going to need that for that. All right, so that's where we're at. I think we did pretty well for today, but that's all the time I've got time for today. If you'd like to see more like this, then by all means subscribe for more content like this. I look forward to showcasing the rest of this 400 plus biome world. All this stuff underground, well, that's just kind of what you have to put up with while you're trying to stay out of the danger. All right, until tomorrow, I'll see you guys real soon. Good night.